don't know about you, but I am so glad this year is over. I'm so glad the holidays are here. So let's just put aside all the shit we endured this year and just talk about something festive. Let's talk about a Christmas movie. Talk about an art house Christmas movie. Okay, Google Criterion Collection Christmas. Well, this one has Christmas in the title. Yeah, fitting. Okay, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence! It's your new holiday tradition. Move over a movie about a guy attempting suicide. This year we watch someone try it and succeed. Oh, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Okay, screw it. You know what? Just let's all be miserable together. I don't care. It's just happy fucking holidays. The film is adapted from a 1963 novel called The Seed and the Sower by Sir Lawrence Vanderpost, a South African novelist and philosopher and the godfather of Prince William? Holy Christ. Anyway, he spent some time as a Japanese prisoner of war on Java and spent most of his time there trying to build morale in the camp. He also knew some basic Japanese. And so Lawrence Vanderpost wrote a version of himself named John Lawrence, played by Tom Conti, known for being Ross Geller's almost father-in-law. Are there any bigger names in this movie? Takeshi Kitano, comedian, actor, director, one-time video game designer, appearing here in his first dramatic role. He gives the movie its title when he gets drunk on sake and declares himself New Santa!
He thinks he's Santa Claus.
Takeshi Kitano sees you when you're sleeping. Oh, that was actually a joke. Let's see, who else is in this movie? Oh yeah, Ryuichi Sakamoto, who plays the conflicted Captain Yanoi. He's better known as the keyboardist for Yellow Magic Orchestra, and he later went on to compose scores for films, like the one we're watching right now. I know I'm forgetting someone.
Your name is given as Jack Sellers. Is that correct?
Why shouldn't it be?
All right. I'm sad now. Remember when he died in January and we all thought that was the worst this year could get? And yeah, David Bowie is wonderful. He plays a character named Major Jack Sellers, a character in the tradition of roles like Colonel Nicholson in Bridge Over the River Kwai, Virgil Hilts in The Great Escape, or Luke Jackson in Cool Hand Luke. Bright men who can't be dulled by imprisonment. They just shine too brightly.
Who do you think you are? Are you an evil spirit?
Yeah. And one of yours, I hope.
Sellers is also, surprisingly, the love interest. The normally stoic Captain Yanoi is struck down immediately by Sellers' raw beauty. Because if there's one thing that unites all people of all nations, it's unquenchable sexual attraction to David Bowie.
I think it has taken a bit of a shine to you.
Yeah, this is a love story between two rock stars, made during a particularly homophobic decade, and as such, it's still very closeted.
お前らオカマが怖いんだろ。侍はオカマだと怖くはない。
戦争は男の友情を強める。しかし、全ての兵士がオカマになるわけじゃない。
Now, there is a difference between English and Japanese attitudes towards homosexuality. The Japanese have been more lenient towards male-on-male sex in most countries. They did criminalize homosexual activity in 1872, but even then, only as part of their westernizing campaign. And even then, they repealed that law in 1880. By contrast, in the United Kingdom, homosexuality was criminalized until 1967. And yes, there's totally a video essay looking at this movie from a purely LGBT perspective, one that I don't feel entirely qualified to do. And besides, I think of it as just being part of a bigger theme. That theme being culture clash. And one-sided culture clash, frankly. British men get the most screen time, most of the dialogue is in English, and the British characters seemingly have more to say than the Japanese, while the Japanese characters are nearly dehumanized. All of them brutal, petty, cruel.
They're a nation of anxious people. And they could do nothing individually. So they went mad. En masse.
Which is why I was so surprised to find out that the director of this movie was Japanese. Nagisa Oshima was a student radical, taboo breaker, and longtime critic of Japanese culture. In a film scene dominated by the serenity of Ozu and the heroics of Kurosawa, Oshima subverted both. Look at his biggest international hit, In the Realm of the Senses, a story about a young couple in 1930s Japan so alienated with the culture outside that they had sex to the death. Oshima seems fascinated by Japan's perverse relationship towards death. He doesn't excuse his Japanese characters. I mean, the last thing we need now are even more apologists for war criminals from the 1940s, but he does try to explain them. Oshima is interrogating his own culture's values, and doing it from the vantage of being outside of his culture, a luxury not many have. A major plot point sees Captain Yanoi ordering a forced fast, a gyo, to cure what he perceives as spiritual laziness. Celliers helps break that fast by picking flowers, and while they break it, they sing hymns.
Rock of ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee.
Aw, Bowie's pretending he can't sing. But feeding the hungry in their time of need, that's a very Christian thing to do, right? For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. For I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. Matthew 25:35. But compare that passage to this one. See you those tiny sparrows in the nest, how their yellow bills are opened wide, and now see, there comes their mother with worms to feed them, how eagerly and happily the little ones eat. But for a samurai, when his stomach is empty, it is a disgrace to feel hungry. That passage was quoted in Inazo Nitobe's internationally popular book, Bushido, The Soul of Japan. Admittedly, it was a book written for Western audiences to explain Japanese culture. It doesn't represent the beliefs of the actual samurai. Then again, neither did Imperial Japan. It was their interpretation of history that they used to justify their own actions. It was the thinking behind the kamikaze attacks, for the brutal treatment of captured enemies, this notion of death before dishonor. And for Oshima, it's what led his countrymen to ruin.
お前はなぜ死なねえんだ。俺はお前が死んだらもっとお前が好きになったのに。なぜこんな恥に耐えることができるんだ。なぜ自決しない。
我々は恥とは呼ばない。逃げたいし、またあなたと戦いたい。生き物の道は取りたくないから自殺もしない。
死ぬのが怖いだけだ。俺は違う。
This mindset has shades of what we might now call toxic masculinity. The madness that's born when your only permitted emotion is aggression. For the prison guards, the acts they commit are justified by the morals they've normalized, never questioning why they've been normalized. For a more recent example, think of the 2004 Abu Ghraib scandal. American soldiers taking Iraqi prisoners and having them stripped, stacked, and shamed. And at the time, some American pundits wrote it off as fraternity hazing, yet never questioning the toxicity of American frat culture. Normalized brutality. And, of course, atrocities like this happened on all sides of the war. In every war. I mean, my own country certainly isn't blameless. So, why talk about this? Why attempt to humanize people who committed atrocities like these? Because we're all capable of committing them. We may all fall victim to our own sense of honor. People have been brutalized in the name of Bushido as well as the Bible, any system which permits cruelty in the name of righteousness, which is all systems, really. The tragedy is, we may never really know the ways in which we hurt each other. But to overcome that, maybe it's just a matter of seeing the humanity in the enemy. And that's exactly how Celliers defeats Yonoi, by breaking a mutual taboo. And we kissed as though nothing could fall. We can be heroes, just for one day. God damn this stupid year. This is a wonderful film, and I hope you can seek it out. It's raw, it's gut-wrenching. It has more to say about finding peace on Earth than 100 vapid holiday specials. So, this season, and in the coming years, maybe it's time to understand our own systems of honor, and what terrible things we might do for its sake.
Lawrence! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.